High on a deadly mountain cliff, a young man clung to the edge with both hands trembling. In one hand, he held his mother. In the other, his wife. Below them, the rocks waited like hungry teeth. The wind roared louder and louder, and his strength was fading fast. "Obinna, save me," his wife cried in terror. "My son, let me go," his mother whispered softly. But what happened next shocked the entire village. Because the choice he made revealed a secret the spirits had been waiting centuries to see. In the quiet village of Iluagir, where the earth was red and the air carried the scent of palm wine and roasted yam, lived a young hunter named Obinna. The elders often said that a man's strength was not in his muscles but in the weight of the choices he carried in his heart. Obinna had grown up hearing such wisdom beneath the moonlight as old storytellers spoke of spirits, ancestors, and the dangers of divided loyalty. Obinna lived with his aging mother Mamankem, a woman whose back had bent from years of farming but whose eyes still shone like fireflies in the night. Recently, he had also married Adiz, a beautiful woman from a neighboring village whose laughter rang through the compound like silver bells. Obinna loved both women deeply, but the love was different. His mother had carried him on her back through storms and hunger when his father died during a hunting expedition years ago. She often reminded him, a mother's shadow follows her child even when the sun has gone. Adiz, however, brought warmth and excitement into his life. She was young, lively, and dreamed of building a prosperous home with him. Yet beneath her sweet smile was a quiet fear, that Obinna's devotion to his mother might always stand between them. One year, during the festival of New Harvest, the entire village gathered near the sacred hills. Drums echoed across the valley while dancers painted in white clay moved like spirits among the crowd. Adiz held Obinna's hand as they watched the celebration, but she noticed how often he turned to check if Mamankem was comfortable among the elders. Her smile faded slightly. Sometimes, she whispered, "I wonder who truly holds your heart." That night Mamankem sat beside the fire roasting corn while Obinna sharpened his hunting knife. "My son," she said slowly, "there will come a day when life forces a man to choose between two paths. When that day comes, remember who walked with you when you had no sandals on your feet." Obinna laughed lightly, thinking it was only the wisdom of old age. Later that evening Adiz lay beside her husband beneath a woven mat roof. "Obinna," she said softly, "promise me something." "What is it, my moon?" he replied. "If a time ever comes when you must choose between your mother and me, will you choose your wife?" Obinna remained silent for a long moment. Beyond the village stood a steep cliff known as Ugouche, the Cliff of Decisions. The elders believed spirits lived there, testing the hearts of those who climbed it. One day Mamankem insisted they gather medicinal herbs growing on the cliffside. Adiz volunteered to join them, eager to prove she was a good wife. None of them knew that the spirits were already watching. The narrow path up the mountain twisted like a snake. Loose stones rolled beneath their feet as they climbed higher. Mamankem leaned on a stick while Adiz carried a woven basket. Obinna walked behind them, watching carefully. Suddenly the wind began to howl. A stone broke loose beneath Adiz's foot. She screamed as she slid toward the edge of the cliff. Instinctively Mamankem reached out to grab her, but the old woman also lost her balance. In seconds, both women were hanging from the edge. Obinna rushed forward and grabbed them both, one hand gripping his mother's arm, the other holding his wife's wrist. Below them was a deadly drop into jagged rocks. "My son!" Mamankem cried. "Obinna!" Adiz screamed. He could not hold them both forever. The wind roared violently across the cliff. Obinna's arms trembled as he tried to lift them both, but the ground beneath him was crumbling. "Choose!" Adiz cried desperately. "My son, save yourself," Mamankem whispered. Suddenly the teachings of the elders echoed in his mind. "A man who forgets his mother forgets his roots." But another voice whispered, "A man must protect his wife, for she carries the future." Obinna felt his heart tearing apart. At that moment a mysterious old man appeared on the path. His eyes glowed faintly like moonlight. "Why do you hesitate, young hunter?" the stranger asked calmly. "This is not an accident," the old man said. "The spirits of the mountain test your heart." Obinna shouted, "Help me!" But the old man only replied, "A choice must be made." "Obinna!" Adiz cried, tears streaming down her face. "We promised to build a future together. Save me." Her grip weakened. Maman looked into her son's eyes. "I carried you in my womb for 9 moons. I carried you on my back for years. If one life must fall today, let it be mine." Obinna screamed in agony. "No. I will not lose either of you." His arms shook violently. The spirits watched silently. In the rushing wind Obinna heard voices. The ancestors of his clan were whispering, "Remember sacrifice." The rocks beneath his feet began collapsing. He knew he had seconds left. "Forgive me," he whispered. Obinna made his choice. But before he could act, something strange happened. The cliff suddenly trembled violently. A thick tree root burst through the rock face, forming a natural support beneath the women. Both were safe. The old man smiled. "You have passed the first test." Obinna stared in confusion. "What test?" The spirit replied. "The test of your heart. The true question was never who you would save," the spirit said. "It was whether your heart would break at the thought of losing either." Adiz looked at Obinna's tear-filled face. For the first time she understood something deeper. His love was not divided. It was multiplied. Maman smiled softly. "My son's heart is bigger than the sky." Years later Obinna became one of the village elders. Whenever young men complained about difficult choices between family and marriage, he would tell them the story of the cliff. Then he would say, "True love is not choosing one heart over another. It is carrying both, even when your arms are shaking."